The word for spouse in Spanish is esposa. The word for handcuff in Spanish is also esposa. So we all made it. We're all here. On behalf of the bride and groom, I want to thank everyone for making the effort to be here today. So with any good wedding speech, I'm supposed to do three things. One, prove my credentials and show you how long I've known and loved Cecilia. Two, impart some old man married words of wisdom. And three, tell at least one dumb joke. So I got the first one down. So, but before we get to the rest, I'm going to give you a little bit of a history lesson. So get ready. The word bridal came into common usage around the year 1200. Bridal is a combination of the word bride and ale. At the time, the word ale meant wedding party or gathering. Ale was also the word used for beer. At the time, pirates and town drunks were always drinking ale. So think going to a barbecue to eat barbecue. So you go to an ale and drink ale. So, at any good bride ale, the family of the bride traditionally brewed her a strong ale in order for her to stomach her first night as a married woman. History tells us this intoxicating liquor made by malt fermentation was usually very strong, around 12%. So in that spirit, I've made Cecilia some limoncello.
Oh no.
It's very strong, so be careful. It's also her great-grandfather's favorite summertime drink, and it's made with his recipe.
Oh, man.
So, question for the older folks. Isn't it strange when the little child whose diapers you so clearly remember changing is suddenly of legal drinking age? How weird is it when they can legally get married? Question for the younger people. How weird is it when your uncle talks about changing your diaper at your wedding? Anyway, I want to tell you about a road trip. It involved a long, long drive from Cecilia, Missouri to St. Louis, Missouri. Technically, it only took 3 hours, but it felt much closer to 6 or 7. The reason for this is because my dad was driving, his sister was in the passenger seat, and I was in the back with little Cecilia. Now, as a dad, I can tell you that from time to time, kids get songs stuck in their heads. Sometimes the song is nice, and sometimes it's downright awful. Cecilia had Happy Birthday stuck in her head. So for 3 straight hours, she sang Happy Birthday over and over and over and over, all while happily spilling Cheerios all over the backseat of the car. So I want to thank you, Cecilia, for preparing me for the many future road trips I would take in which children would drive me absolutely nuts. And little did you know that that road trip 20 years ago was giving me practice for this road trip to come to your wedding. And now to Ryan and Cecilia. Not long ago, they went to New York City to visit Ryan's sister for Thanksgiving. They parked on the street overnight, and when they came outside in the morning, found a parking ticket and a screwdriver in their tire.
A slash tire.
I'm not sure if any of you have had the misfortune of finding yourself in the middle of Harlem the day after Thanksgiving with a completely destroyed tire, but you can imagine the level of stress. Ryan didn't have a spare tire, and no judgment on Ryan, the car mechanic, for not having a spare. So what were they going to do? They did what any of us would do in 2024. They Googled. They Googled the closest tire shop, and by some miracle found an open one just 3 blocks away. Now, buying a tire in New York City is one thing. Getting said tire back to the car is an entirely different thing.
It's true.
And so it was that this nicely dressed man that you see in front of you today rolled a tire through the streets of Harlem 3 long blocks to his car, while Cecilia helped out by snapping pictures of the I like to think that seeing a guy rolling a tire down the streets of Harlem wasn't even in the top 10 weirdest things you can see in New York. Ryan and Cecilia told that story not to laugh at your misfortune, but to point out that in your life together, you'll occasionally find a screwdriver in your tire. It's the way you respond together that matters. This next part is for Ryan. I don't know anything about how to be a good wife, so I won't bother to mansplain to Cecilia about what she should or shouldn't do, but I do know something about being a husband. You can always tell what a man cares about by what he spends his money on and what he spends his time on. For the past few years, you both have spent just about all your time and just about all your money on the person sitting next to you. So for the next 60-odd years or so, just keep doing that. It's really that simple. And wear the damn ring. You're a very lucky man to have taken this one off the market, so wear your ring with pride. Please raise your glasses, everyone. Ryan and Cecilia, I want you to look around the room. These are the people that helped you get here today in one way or the other. They're here today, but they won't be here. They won't be with you next week or the next. Now it's up to you two, and only you two, to keep your marriage going. I'll be rooting for you. We'll all be rooting for you.
Cheers! All right. Give it up for Uncle Jonathan, everybody.